Okay, here we are. Good morning. I think we are live. Happy Tuesday. It is just after 10 in the morning. Please, if you're watching this and if you can see and hear this, well, actually, please tell me if you can hear me. 2 weeks ago, I sat blubbering and chatting here for about 20 minutes before someone DM'd me to let me know that they couldn't actually hear a word I was saying. So the wee thing on my mic is going up and down, which is very much indicating that you can hear me, but it would make me feel so much better if someone could pop on here and just tell me if you can hear me. And if you are watching this live, please give me a hashtag live. If you're watching this on the replay, please give me a hashtag replay. I know most of you will be watching it on the replay, so yes, let me know what you're up to. Let me know what country you're in. Let me know what time it is while you're watching this, and please let me know what the weather is like. I am Claire Innes, for anyone who I haven't met before. I am the founder of the Fertility Mentor. I am sitting here in my chilly house in Glasgow, got my blanket on, got my jumper on. Autumn basically arrived yesterday, so here we are, super chilly. Now, this is the first one of these sessions we have done in a long time. Historically, I'm here every Tuesday morning just after 10 o'clock. And what I like to do is a roundup of the various questions and talking points. Everything is completely anonymous, of course. I like to do a roundup of some of the wins that we've had in our groups, in our free communities. I like to read out word for word some of the questions that people have been asking, and then I like to answer them with my take. So this is being streamed on YouTube, it's being streamed on Instagram, and in one of our groups. I run three trying to conceive groups. One's mostly based in the States, one's mostly based here in the UK, and one is mostly based in Australia. So whichever one this isn't being live streamed into, I'm going to send a link over to the other groups. So what do we talk about in these groups? We talk about lots of things. We talk a lot about obviously pregnancy, fertility, infertility, miscarriage. We go quite deep into understanding ovulation. My kind of big area of expertise is nutrition and egg quality. So I help women manage the things that they can control to improve their fertility. So not the things that you need a prescription from a doctor for, but the things that you do for yourself and the things that you can do for yourself to improve your chances, and frankly the things that a doctor can't do for you. Okay, so the things that you're eating, your movement pattern, your supplements, meal prep is a big one as well, but also what's going on up here. Infertility has been, the stress of infertility has been linked to the stress of a cancer diagnosis. Okay, and I have a very, very good friend who has dealt with infertility and a cancer diagnosis. And she has told me before that, at least with her cancer diagnosis, it was something she felt she could talk to people about, whereas infertility tends to be very isolating, doesn't it? It's quite a kind of taboo subject still. Every day we're working to try and change this. But please, if you are in the middle of a fertility journey, if you are struggling with your fertility, know that you are 1 in 5. Okay, so while people don't talk about it a lot and it can feel like you are the only one, other people do get it. And that's why I do these live streams sitting in my study. That is why these groups exist, because we're here for each other and we want to look after each other. Okay? So I'm just going to get stuck in here. What I tend to do is read out word for word a selection of the comments that have been posted in the various groups, or questions that have been asked by my clients, things that I'm asked over and over again. And I might actually read out some of the responses from the groups, because that's what these groups are for, of course. But I will always make sure to answer it from my perspective as well. Okay, so we are just going to get started. As I say, always please just join in, comment along. Please, if you can't hear me, let me know, because I promise you, I don't know and I need to know. There's nothing worse than sitting talking to yourself on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Okay, so let's get started with our first question. This was posted towards the end of last week from an anonymous member. She's wrote here, and I'm reading this word for word, so it's in her words, okay? I am 38 years old and I had 2 kids without trying. Started trying and had 2 miscarriages last year. I've tried letrozole and Clomid with no positive yet. I have no fertility health insurance and really can't afford the quote I was given at the fertility clinic. My OBGYN has done no testing or anything but said besides Clomid or letrozole, there's nothing else he can do. Anything else I can do to help myself? Okay, so what this poster is saying is she's already had 2 children. She didn't need to try. She's 38 years old and she's not able to go forward with what we call assisted reproductive technology. So I'm guessing she's not able to pay privately for IVF or IUI, so she needs to keep trying naturally. And she's not having any luck using Clomid or letrozole, and she wants to know if there's any suggestions for things that she can do to help herself. So my answer to that anonymous member is yes, there absolutely is lots of things you can do to help yourself. So if you haven't already, I would absolutely recommend reading the book It Starts with the Egg. I would absolutely recommend doing my free course. There's no charge, no credit card. There's absolutely no obligations with this free course. And what this free course does is gives you a masterclass every day for 5 days, touching on 5 different areas of fertility and things that you can do for yourself. So day number 1 is nutrition, and that's where I talk to you specifically about how to move from a typical Western nutrition diet to a more Mediterranean based diet. That the eggs that we do have left, they've been exposed to much more, they're much more susceptible to damage and poor quality. But what this course is all about is improving your egg quality through your nutrition, your hydration, your supplements, and the toxins and chemicals that are all around you. Okay, so another thing I would suggest for you is to look at how you're preparing your food, how you're storing your food. For example, if you're cooking on non-stick pans and pots, these can and typically do contain harmful chemicals, which are bad news for egg quality and bad news for keeping your hormones in nice homeostasis. If you're storing food and heating it up in the dish, make sure you're using dishes that are BPA safe. They are not, full of toxins. Ideally, what you really want is glass dishes, especially if you're heating them up in it. Also look through your cosmetics and remove anything that's got kind of perfume in it or potentially phthalates. Make sure if you're using any fragrances to clean your home, make sure they're from natural sources, please. So BPA and phthalates can be a big disruptor of hormones. So, and they can also be bad news for your egg quality. The other thing I would say as well is to look at supplements. I'm not going to get mad into supplements here because it is all covered in the free course. But, there's plenty of supplements out there that are really well tested and they don't need to cost a fortune to improve your egg quality and just make sure that your hormones are playing ball. Okay? So there are a lot of things that you can do that no one else can do for you. And the first thing I would say as well is really track your cycle. Okay, so make sure that you know how long your cycle is. Make sure you know if you're ovulating, and if you're ovulating, make sure you know when that is happening, and if it's roughly in the middle of your cycle, to give you enough time to build up that estrogen, and then enough time if you do implant to actually have a successful pregnancy. So there's loads of things loads of things that you can do yourself. The way that I recommend to track your cycle is by using BBT. So that's your basal body temperature. And the reason I recommend that is, well, there's lots of reasons actually, but it's the most accessible. So you don't need to spend two, three, £400 on a Myra or the other kind of kits. You buy a ovulation thermometer and you track your temperature every day and you look for an elevation. And if that stays elevated for roughly 3 days, that's an indication that you actually have ovulated. What that's going to tell you is your fertile window. So when you should be making hay while the sun shines, it's going to tell you if and when you have ovulated. And that information, in my opinion, is absolutely, absolutely worth its weight in gold. So lots and lots and lots of things that you can do. As I've said, this course is completely free and it is made up of the questions that I am asked most and very practical tips. So I give away recipe packs, worksheets, the lot. And you can find this course online on my website. So it's the fertility, put my teeth in, thefertilitymentor.org.uk/NutriBloom. And NutriBloom is spelled NutriBloom. And there, as I say, there's no, kind of free trial period or anything like that. It is completely free. Completely free. You won't be asked to put in any payment details at all in the slightest. Okay. So let's move on to our next question, which was also anonymous. She's posted here, hi, when do I need to take time off work during IVF? Is it during egg collection or embryo transfer? And how long do people recommend in your own experience? Thank you so much. So I actually made a video about this, but I'm going to answer it here as well because it's a very, very common question. So typically, between the egg collection and the embryo transfer, the egg collection does tend to be the one where people might need a little bit more time off. Some people don't experience any discomfort at all, and some people do experience quite a bit of discomfort. In fact, some people are put under anaesthetic when they have their egg collection. So if you're in a position where you need to choose time off for one or the other, or you need to prioritize more time off for this than this, the general advice, what I would always say to you is prioritize the egg collection. That tends to be the most kind of invasive, and from my experience, this is where people need more rest afterwards. If you can take lots of time off for both, then please do that, because obviously you also want to be minimizing your stress. You want to be taking care of yourself, just getting your feet up. But if it's a difficult thing, please do remember, particularly here in the UK, you do now have rights when it comes to time off for fertility. And remember that IVF is a really, really big undertaking and you have protection. Okay, so please don't. I really, really hope there's nobody out there worrying and thinking that they can't tell their team or their employers that they're going through IVF. Okay, so you've got protection here and you are absolutely within your rights to be trying to have a baby, and please don't be scared to share that. Okay, take as much time off as you think you need. Okay, let's look for the next questions. So, how long after trigger shot did you have a successful IUI? Hi ladies, I was instructed to trigger tonight at 7 p.m. IUI is scheduled for 9:30 on Friday morning, 2 days from today. That makes 38.5 hours between the trigger shot and the IUI. That sounds fine in theory, but I might be being crazy paranoid, but what if I ovulate 24 hours after trigger shot and the egg only lives for 12 hours? That makes 38 hours, meaning the window would be missed. Okay, so typically they try to schedule it for about 36 hours. Okay, that's kind of smack bang in the middle of the 24 and 48 hours, which is the number that you will see on Google. This has been tested time and time again. The clinics absolutely know what they're doing. They can only actually give you the one IUI. You're scheduled for this one IUI. So they need to choose what they believe is the absolute optimal time to do that. And it's very, very well understood, and it's very much agreed that 36 hours is the kind of best try, chance timing that we've got to do that. So I think 38 and a half hours, you're absolutely, absolutely fine. Okay. And I see that would have actually been yesterday morning. So please let us know how you got on, and let us know any feedback, if you need any support, if you need any virtual high fives or cuddles, then just let me know. Next post here we've got where I've been asking people to share their weekly wins and what their small wins were. So anonymous member 657 here has posted, I got my first positive test today at 3 weeks and 3 days after our chemical pregnancy 4 months ago. I'm excited and scared all at the same time. So this is something that I see a lot. Women who they've suffered losses, whether it's a chemical, whether it's a miscarriage, whether it's baby loss, and quite naturally they're grieving. They're in a really, really difficult place, and they want to be excited because they've managed to fall pregnant again, but they're actually really, really scared because they're scared that they're going to lose the baby again. And I just want to say that this is absolutely, absolutely natural. It's very, very normal to feel this way, and my heart absolutely goes out to you. You're scared of what happened before, and you are so excited about this wee baby that you're growing and that you're looking after in your body. So please do your best to manage your stress levels. What you'll never hear from me is just relax. Okay, just relax doesn't work. But what does work is managing your stress level. Okay, so understanding that what you're going through is stressful, and putting interventions and putting plans in place to manage them. That might be regular exercise, it might be paying extra attention to what you're eating, it might be booking a massage, just doing something nice for yourself to manage those stress levels and keep yourself distracted. Okay. The next post we have here is from an anonymous lady 19 hours ago, and this is something we see really often, and I'm going to read it out word for word. Okay. I'm about to turn 40 and still not a mum. My husband has a 13-year-old son and is pressuring me for another child. Every month it's the same thing. He talks about how great it's going to be, what we're going to name the child, how he can't wait to get matching pyjamas for family Christmas photos. And then comes the just go take a test, honey. I bet it's positive. And we're disappointed every time. Not only am I letting him down, I know I'm letting down a whole other human. Sorry, I've got that wrong. Not only am I let down, but I'm letting down a whole other human. It's gut-wrenching. I don't know why my body just can't function properly. For the most part, I have normal periods, which gives me a false sense of hope every month. My cousin just had her fourth kid at 46 and they were not trying, and was bragging about it at our last family party. It just isn't fair. I want to feel the love of my child. I want to give them all of this love inside me. Why have I been stripped of motherhood, and why have any of us? So I wanted to make a point of reading this post out loud because I think it's really powerful, and it is gut wrenching, and it is heartbreaking. And I want anyone who's watching this, either live or on replay, to hear it, because I know that a lot of you are feeling the exact same way, and a lot of you can think that you're the only people who feel this way. What is particularly sad is that you can tell from the wording here that this poor woman has already started blaming herself. She's used words like letting herself down, letting a whole other human down, which is just heartbreaking. Infertility is so fucking unfair. It doesn't discriminate. It happens to good people, and it's not fair. It's not just. And I'm so very, very, very sorry that this is happening to you. I'm here for you. And so are the many, many women that are commenting under here. There's 45 messages underneath this post from women offering support and offering love. What I will say is, it might be that it's time to have a conversation with your husband about how he's making you feel. It sounds like he's doing this with the absolute best of intentions, and by the sounds of things, he's just excited and doesn't understand how much stress he's actually putting onto you, how much he's adding to your mental load. Okay, so I think it might be time for a quiet, peaceful conversation with him and just giving him a chance to understand where you are coming from. Because whether he means it or not, whether his intentions are good and wonderful or not, he is adding to your pressure and therefore adding to your stress levels, which is not good for your hormone balance or for your fertility. So, what you want is to feel supported. What you deserve is to feel supported. And that might look like him asking you regularly how you're feeling, him asking if he can help you in any way, instead of just getting, and as I say, I don't mean to be like pointing a finger at the man and saying he's the baddie, because it doesn't sound like he knows he's doing it. But I think he needs to know that this is the effect that he's having on you and your stress levels. And I think there needs to be a conversation about how you both can switch that narrative and how he can help instead of hindering. I would also say to the original poster of this as well that I do a lot of mindset work in the free fertility course. So I'm going to just read out the link to it again as well. So it's thefertilitymentor.org.uk/NutriBloom. The whole of day 2 in this course is all about mindset for fertility, how we talk to each other, how we keep going when it is so, so, so hard. Okay? And I know it is so, so, so hard. And I can't stress enough that my heart absolutely goes out to you. Okay, let's move on here. A nice message here. Hi there, just curious. I've had kids before and I had one 5 years ago, age 35. Does this make it more likely that I'll conceive at 40, or maybe it doesn't work like that? So, if you have had a baby, you are statistically more likely to be able to have a baby at any age than someone who hasn't had a baby. Okay, so that doesn't mean that you will definitely have a baby at 40 because you had a baby at 35. And it's so, so, so difficult because we can't actually see what's going on in our ovaries, in our womb, in our eggs. But the statistic is, if you have already had a child, then statistically you are more likely to be able to conceive and carry another child. So there's no guarantees ever, unfortunately. I absolutely wish there was. But that's fantastic. You've had a successful pregnancy, you've managed to conceive 5 years ago. So you keep trying, keep eating well, keep looking after yourself, keep making that beast with two backs. And as I say, if you need any additional help from me or from the group, just keep posting. Okay, let's see if there's any other. We've got a post here from a lovely lady saying, should I still have hope if I am a day late but still test negative? So it is not uncommon to get a false negative. It's much less common to get a false positive. So if you're still testing negative and you're only a day late, then yes, there is a chance that it will become positive. So fingers crossed, and let us know. Okay. Jessica here is asking, anyone conceived after 44 and have healthy children? And we have got so many, so many comments from women saying, yes, yes, yes. Yes, I conceived naturally at 44 and my baby is healthy. Yes, two kids, one at 44 and one at 47. Natural conception and very healthy kids. My friend had a baby at 42 and one at 44, both healthy. Conceived at 44, healthy baby girl. I've had a client who conceived at 45 and had a baby at 46. Had a healthy baby girl at 44, natural conception, easy pregnancy, natural childbirth. She is my third, but I had my first two in my 20s. My hope and dream, my friend's sister has had two. This is one of the reasons I absolutely love these groups so much, because they're private and they're safe, and they're a space where that we can have the conversations that I read out, 2 posts ago, about how unfair it is and how sad it is. And then we can also have these conversations where real women are saying, this happened to me, I kept going, and I got my baby. Okay, so Claudia here's posted, would love to hear your success stories of naturally conceiving and giving birth after 40. And we have 40 comments under here, just full of pictures of beautiful, healthy, happy babies. I'm reading the comments and it's not all plain sailing, and unfortunately it isn't all plain sailing. Several miscarriages, several people that had to try for a long time to get their special, amazing little baby, but they did keep going and they got their baby. Here we've got, where are my 45 and up natural mamas at? 35 comments here. One lady's saying, I'm 45 and 33 weeks pregnant. Another lady here is saying, I'm 45 and 16 weeks pregnant. Amazing. Okay. I'm going to look for one more post and then I'm going to leave to let you go on with it. Always try with strips. Sorry about this, everyone. I'm just looking for the next group's questions. April has posted 2 days ago. Has anyone been successful getting pregnant? Oh, sorry, I've pressed the wrong button here, like a big dafty. Right, sorry, I've lost this page. Sorry. Has anyone been successful getting pregnant naturally when your spouse drinks a few beers every other day to every few days? We just had my ovulation cycle and we were able to cover 2 days before and the day of ovulation. And I'm hoping that it worked, but I'm curious if that really matters as far as a few beers every so often. So, this unfortunately is a little bit like how long is a piece of string. There are people who are drug users, both men and women. There are people who abuse alcohol on a daily basis, that smoke. They still manage to conceive, sometimes without even trying, and they manage to have healthy babies. And some families, some couples can do absolutely everything right, and it still doesn't happen. What the statistics are telling us is that alcohol is not good for sperm or egg quality, and the best thing you can do, especially if you are struggling to conceive, if you've been trying for over 6 months, is to eliminate alcohol altogether. But as I say, there are people all over the world that abuse lots of substances and they still manage to get pregnant. So some of the comments here, just for kind of sharing stories. My husband drinks and I conceived when I was 42, 44, and TTC now when I'm 45, and he is 2 years older than me. So this example, her husband drinks and she's managed to conceive into her mid 40s. Second comment here, my husband drinks all the time. We had a baby last year. I was 39 and he was 45. Now I'm 40, almost 41, and he's almost 47, and we're going to start trying this cycle for another. I drink a glass of wine almost every night. Next comment here, neither of us drink and we haven't conceived, so I feel like it's not really correlated too much. I wouldn't say that it's too much, but there is definitely a link, and that link can't be ignored. So if you're looking to do everything you can, then yes, eliminating alcohol or asking him to eliminate alcohol is a good idea. But also, what's probably a good idea, if you can, to have a semen test and just see if his morphology is where it needs to be. Okay, I am getting thirsty and I'm getting tired of hearing my own voice. So if you've made it this far and this long, thank you. It's been a pleasure to be back, and I will be back every Tuesday morning answering questions, talking nonsense, normalizing fertility struggles and normalizing the issues that the women I work through, the women that I work with go through every single day. A reminder that I offer a free consultation to anyone who needs it. And I also have lots of free resources for anyone who would like a little bit more help in conceiving but isn't in a position to pay for accountability and coaching. So if I can help you, drop me a DM. My name is Claire Innes. My business page on Facebook is The Fertility Mentor. On Instagram, my handle is thereal.fertilitymentor, and my website is thefertilitymentor.org.uk. I am delighted to be here with you at this time, and please never hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Take it easy. Bye.